Could a legitimate Spyro and Crash Bandicoot crossover platformer be in development, like an actual mainline game? Let's talk about it. What's up guys, Canadian Guy here, and back with a brand new Crash and Spyro crossover video. Crash Team Rumble has slid into its third season, and so far, it's been doing really good. Of course, the start of the season is our favorite purple lad, Spyro the Dragon. The Battle Pass is also jam-packed full of Spyro and medieval fantasy content, and so far, it's been an absolute blast. However, if you are unaware, one of the many cosmetics in Crash Team Rumble is picking your banner for your profile. This calling card is used whenever someone is eliminated to show who it was, as well as at the end of the match to show who the MVP was during the match. Most of the banners are snippets of concept art, both new and old. However, when the Spyro season started, there were a number of new banners that were added that has the community raising an eyebrow, especially this one in particular. As we look through, we can see the image is of Crash and Coco riding on the back of Spyro through a portal. In the background, you can see an environment that looks like a cross between both Crash's and Spyro's worlds. Additionally, you can see what seems to be hands of some things holding different colored feathers. Now, we can speculate that these feathers are being held what kind of look like to be dragons. Additionally, there were other banners that featured both Crash and Spyro in some capacity. One of the banners actually looks quite clear, as it looks like treetops with a bunch of Norks invading, along with a larger Nork that has a headdress that is akin to Aku Aku and Uka Uka. Now, this wasn't the first time that we saw a banner that caught our attention as to a crossover between Crash and Spyro, as in Season 1, there was also a banner called Dragon Visions that featured a number of dragons, Crash riding one of them, and if you look very close, a crystal dragon in the middle of a battlefield. So when the community saw these banners, they went into a full frenzy. Could this be concept art for a brand new title? Could this be a tease to the future of both Crash and Spyro? Could we be getting a full-fledged crossover platforming game? Now, before we get all hyped up, I want you to take a breath for a second and take a step back. Concept art is great. I love me some good teases from concept art, but if I've learned anything from over the years, concept art does not equal to concrete ideas. Trust me, I've fallen down that rabbit hole once or twice. Concept art is the artistic exploration of ideas and essentially a guide to all of the different departments working on the game. Some of you might be thinking that I've gone negative, and I can understand why, but let me break it down. Let's look at this art piece once more. The concept art that made everyone go nuts. As soon as I saw it, I knew the art style was familiar. I have seen a lot of Crash 4 concept art, but each artist has their own take on making concepts. Every artist has a unique art style when it comes to shapes, colors, and line work. So I started to dig through pieces of Crash 4 concept art until I came across this piece. Looking at the shapes, colors, and even stylization, I can see that they are an identical match. I also reached out to our resident thumbnail artist Mel the Honeybee and asked if she agreed with my deduction, and she did. So, who was the savvy artist behind this wonderful piece? Why, it was none other than Nicola Saviori. Nicola's art was integral to Crash Bandicoot's core design in Crash 4, along with many other fun characters and enemies. His art, along with the rest of the incredible team at Toys for Bob, was shown off in the art book of Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. So if you wanted to check that out, I left an affiliate link in the description below. But what does finding the artist have to do with the validity of a piece of concept art? Well, because of this. Back in late 2020 and early 2021, there was an unfortunate mass layoff at Toys for Bob. A large portion of the people laid off were from the art department. The reason behind this layoff is still unclear, but some rumors suggested that other higher priority games in the Activision ecosystem at the time started to struggle due to the pandemic and the transition to working from home. I would assume as well that some studios were better prepared than others when it came to remote work. So, sadly, many were laid off. Now, to my knowledge, Nicola has not been brought back, at least for Crash Team Rumble. It is likely a new art team would have been rebuilt under the leadership of Toys for Bob's newest art director, Dev Madan, who was hired back in late 2022, which means this piece of concept art at the earliest would have been likely done in 2020 or 2021, which was around or right before the layoffs and before even the release and announcement of Crash Team Rumble, which means this piece of concept art could be almost 3 to 4 years old. Additionally, if this project was allegedly in development or in early development, the game would have been talked about internally in about 2019 and 2020. And according to this development schedule that was leaked a few years back, there is absolutely no mention of any Crash or Spyro projects besides Project Quantum and Project Lava for the years of 2019 to 2021, which was Crash Bandicoot 4 and Crash Team Rumble. Of course, this schedule was made before the mass layoffs, as Rumble was originally planned to come out allegedly in 2021. But if there was a Crash and Spyro crossover project in the works, it would have likely been mentioned in this schedule, and as you can see, it wasn't. So, what exactly is this piece of concept art? Well, I can't say for certain, but it very well might just be exactly what it is, a concept. This may have been an idea that Nicola and others wanted to explore together. This may have been a very early look at the idea of bringing Spyro to Crash Team Rumble. This could have been a piece used for an internal game jam, or even a pitched idea that never left concepting phase. Whatever it is, due to its age and previous leaks, I'm very hesitant to say that this was a project that ever hit any form of development besides ideation. Now, I might be wrong, and I'm willing to be corrected, but I don't think we're going to be getting a Crash and Spyro full-fledged platforming title anytime soon. Additionally, a previous artist on both Crash 4 and Spyro Reignited, Nick Cole, replied to fans getting excited over the newly found concept art, saying not to get their hopes up. When people started to respond, he followed up with, quote, "I truly wish. Maybe something different is coming from somewhere else, but the team that pitched this concept has been disbanded." Looking at this through the lens of being both a Crash and Spyro fan, if a mainline platforming title came out that was a 50-50 split between both Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon before a new mainline Spyro title was released, I think there would be a significant bitterness from the crowd who prefers Spyro. I think Toys for Bob also understands and sees that people want a brand new Spyro title, and a crossover title would continue to cement the negative narrative that Spyro has to be attached to Crash Bandicoot and cannot exist as his own titular character. If a Spyro 4 came out and then they made a 50-50 mainline game, I think that would go over just fine. But before a new Spyro title, I'm not so sure that's the smartest move. Now, Crash and Spyro crossing over in each other's games? Well, that is actually happening right now as we speak, as Crash Team Rumble currently has Spyro as a playable character. Additionally, some assets were discovered in the game that might be hints towards a brand new Spyro title. You can check that video out here. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Bye-bye!